How's it going, lads and lasses? Today for our figure review we have a Phase 1 ARC Trooper. This is based off of Captain Fordo from Tartakovsky's Clone Wars series back in, 2003. This has had just a tiny bit of controversy to it, which I'll get into it after I get into the articulation and the accessories. So first, let's look at the articulation for this figure. So Hasbro's kind of incorporating this new neck joint style where it has a ball joint that goes into the head and then another one that goes into the torso. So it has 2 points, and the range of motion is pretty limited on this one because of the collar here, but it's still not bad. You can still get some pretty decent poses out of that, and that new neck style is definitely superior to what they had before. You actually get a butterfly joint in there. Again, it's pretty limited by the armor, but you still get a pretty decent range of motion out of that. You don't get double jointed elbows, but you get this really deep elbow swivel, so it's almost as good, not quite. Wrist can do 360, and then the right hand swivels up and down, whereas the left hand in and out. And you get an ab crunch, which can actually do a 360 there, and you actually get pretty good motion out of that. Leg swivel is a bit limited by just the armor and also the comma here, but it's serviceable. And again, you don't get a double jointed knee, but you get this really deep swivel there that gets pretty close to that. And you have a foot swivel and the standard Hasbro pivot style right there. And of course on the helmet you have the little rangefinder that can swivel back and forth. Alright, so for accessories you get, of course, dual DC-17 blaster pistols. You get the DC-15A blaster rifle, and you get a DC-15S blaster carbine. So you basically get the full clone arsenal there. And that's just about all you can really ask for with a figure like this. And the blaster pistols fit nicely in the holsters on the comma there. So let's talk a little bit about the controversy with this figure. And if you follow, places where people are usually talking about Black Series figures, you might already know what I'm talking about. Or just from looking at this figure, you might be able to kind of guess. It's not an accurate representation of Captain Fordo. And as such, people are going to complain, and honestly, I'm one of those that did complain to an extent, not as much as other people, because I have a custom one that I did right here that I'm happy with. It would have been nice to have, a more accurate one, especially because it's not that the armor pieces don't exist, because obviously they do, you can see right there. I think I know why they went the route they did, where they used the more modern version of the ARC Trooper armor. And the reason for that is because when figure companies make new tooling is the most expensive part about creating action figures. And so when you make that tooling, you want to get the most out of it. And of course, Hasbro is just about the most notorious company for doing this. They will reuse parts like they're going out of style. And in fact, recently, most of their figure releases have been kind of repaints and reuses of all these parts. So when they made that new ARC Trooper mold, they wanted to get the most out of it. And they've only really done 2 Black Series figures with that mold so far. One of them's come out. You have the Umbra Trooper coming out, I'm not sure when. Not really following that one. But they're going to want to get something else out of that mold. So they just decided to do that with Captain Fordo here. I get it. I don't agree with the decision, but I guess I see where they're coming from with that. And again, that's just my speculation. There could be some totally different reason behind that. It might not even be that deep. It might just be, oh, ARC Trooper armor, just put that on there. And, you know, the people actually designing the action figure can't argue with upper management. So that's the end of that conversation. So, how would I recommend this figure? Well, as a representation of Captain Fordo, it definitely fails. But just as a generic Phase 1 ARC Trooper, I think it works pretty well. Because that modern ARC Trooper armor is pretty cool. As long as you get this and you don't think, you know, this is going to be my Captain Fordo figure, I think you'll enjoy it a lot better. Especially because there are still options out there for getting a more accurate Captain Fordo if you want to. Case in point right here, this is my custom one. If you browse around eBay, you can get all the parts. I made this before people were really 3D printing parts. So this is just kind of working off of what I had, like the shoulder pads. The Paldrone is sort of... that's from a Rex figure, because that's pretty close to what Fordo had. The blaster pistols are actually... It's a combination of the DC-15 carbine, and then I just kind of cut off the front end and used... From the 3 3/4 inch scales, I used the front end of the blaster rifles and just glued it on there, and it's accurate enough for me. It doesn't need to be 100% accurate, it just needs to look cool, so it worked out for me. And then the commas from a Purge Trooper, and the holsters are actually from a holster for a Stormtrooper that I just cut in half, and it's about the right size. So, and then I just kind of drilled into the head there and put Rex's rangefinder, and that all worked. So, you know, like I said, there are options out there. You just got to get a little bit creative. So as just a generic red ARC Trooper that's a Phase 1 clone, I would recommend the ARC Trooper figure there. Alright, that's going to do it for this video, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.